Have you ever wondered how someone can eat all the so-called healthy foods, green smoothies, fresh juices, clean meals, and still end up in the hospital with kidney failure? It sounds impossible, doesn't it? But I'm here to tell you it happens every single day, quietly in people who think they're doing everything right. I'm Dr. Mark Ellis, and after 20 years of treating kidney patients, I can tell you this. The real danger isn't the food you know is bad. It's the food you believe is saving you. What most people don't realize is that your kidneys can lose up to 90% of their function before you feel a single warning sign. You might think you're just tired or that your swollen ankles are a sign of age. But those are not harmless changes. They're silent alarms, a quiet cry for help from organs that are drowning under the weight of the very foods you thought were helping them. And here's the shocking part. Some of the vegetables praised by doctors, diet books, and wellness influencers, the same ones sitting in your refrigerator right now, can quietly push your kidneys closer to collapse, bite by bite, meal by meal. Yet no one talks about it until it's too late, until creatinine levels rise, and dialysis becomes the only word left on the table. But here's the hope, and it's real. Because once you understand which foods quietly sabotage your kidneys and which ones can actually help them heal, you can take back control. In this video, I'm going to show you 6 vegetables that might be silently harming your kidneys, even if you think you're eating clean, and then reveal 4 powerful healing vegetables that can protect, cleanse, and even help restore kidney function naturally and affordably, especially after age 60. So stay with me until the very end, because what you're about to discover could mean the difference between years of dialysis and years of freedom. Let's start with one of the sneakiest healthy foods hiding in plain sight: tomatoes. Most of us grew up believing tomatoes are the symbol of clean eating, colorful salads, homemade sauces, and antioxidant power from lycopene. But here's what few people realize when you take a tomato and concentrate it, turning it into paste sauce, ketchup, or juice. You're not eating a vegetable anymore, you're swallowing a potassium bomb. I'll never forget Robert, one of my patients. He was 59, retired, and proud of his Sunday ritual, simmering homemade spaghetti sauce from scratch. No sugar, no processed junk, just love and tomatoes. He thought he was doing everything right. But one afternoon, he came to me exhausted with irregular heartbeats and lab results that showed dangerously high potassium levels. The culprit wasn't meat soda or salt. It was his healthy tomato sauce, more than 1,500 milligrams of potassium in a single meal, nearly half his daily safe limit. Here's the science: when your kidneys start to slow down, they can't flush out excess potassium. It builds up silently in your bloodstream, thickening it like sludge in a pipe. This condition, called hyperkalemia, can make you feel weak, dizzy, or in severe cases trigger sudden heart failure. And the worst part, you might never know it's happening until it's too late. According to the National Kidney Foundation, even small spikes in potassium can increase the risk of cardiac arrest in people over 60 with reduced filtration rates. So what can you do? It doesn't mean you must give up tomatoes forever. Fresh ones in moderation are usually fine. The key is portion and preparation. For Robert, we cut his sauce down to 2 tablespoons per serving and boosted the flavor with garlic, basil, and a pinch of olive oil. Within 6 weeks, his potassium levels stabilized, his heartbeat returned to normal, and Sunday dinner was back on the table, only safer this time. That's the power of awareness. But knowing this one danger isn't enough, because the next comfort food on the list hides an even bigger trap, one that sits on almost every dinner plate and can send potassium levels skyrocketing in a single meal. And that's where the real shock begins. If tomato sauce is a silent attacker, then potatoes are a full-on ambush. They're comfort, nostalgia, and tradition all rolled into one bite. Mashed, baked, roasted, or fried, they're everywhere. You grew up with them, you celebrate with them, and you probably have them sitting in your kitchen right now. But for anyone over 60 or living with kidney strain, that warm, fluffy side dish might be doing more damage than you think. Linda, one of my longtime patients, found this out the hard way. She was 64, a loving grandmother, in the heart of her family's Thanksgiving dinner. On that day, she served what she thought was a wholesome home-cooked meal: mashed potatoes, sweet potatoes, and roasted red potatoes. It's all vegetables, she told me later. How could that be bad? But within hours, her potassium levels spiked so high that she was rushed to the hospital with heart rhythm chaos. What she didn't know was that a single medium baked potato packs up to 1,000 milligrams of potassium, and just 1 cup of mashed sweet potatoes can have over 200 milligrams. That's more than an entire day's safe limit in a single serving. Here's what happens inside your body when your kidneys can't filter potassium efficiently. It doesn't just sit there. It floods your bloodstream. Imagine your kidneys as a dam holding back a powerful river. When cracks form, the water bursts through uncontrollably, overwhelming the system. That's what excess potassium does to your heart's rhythm. It overwhelms it sometimes fatally. Hyperkalemia isn't just a number on a lab test. It's a ticking clock that can stop your heart without warning. But here's the good news. There's a way to enjoy your favorite comfort foods without putting your kidneys at risk. The key is a technique called leaching. It's simple but incredibly effective. Cut your potatoes into small pieces, soak them in water for several hours, then boil them in a fresh pot of clean water. This process can remove up to 70% of the potassium, giving your kidneys breathing room. And portion control matters too. Instead of guessing, measure your servings no more than a 1/4 cup at a time. Season them with herbs, garlic, or a splash of olive oil instead of salt or butter, and you'll keep the comfort while losing the danger. Linda did exactly that. She didn't have to give up her Sunday dinners or her favorite dishes. She just changed how she cooked and how much she served. Within weeks, her potassium stabilized, her energy returned, and her fear of another hospital visit disappeared. Sometimes healing isn't about giving up what you love, it's about learning how to love it safely. But only knowing how to handle potatoes isn't enough, because the next health food on the list hides something even more dangerous, a compound that can crystallize inside your kidneys and cut like glass. And once you see what it does, you'll never look at that bright red juice the same way again. If beets are the double-edged sword of kidney health, then rhubarb is the smiling assassin hiding behind a pretty face. It looks cheerful. Those pinkish red stalks baked into pies or stirred into jam feel innocent, even nostalgic. But beneath that sweet, tangy taste lies one of the most kidney-toxic vegetables on earth. Sarah, a 56-year-old teacher, found that out in the most devastating way. She loved her homemade rhubarb crisp so much that when family gatherings came around one spring, she had it 3 times in one weekend. By Monday morning, she felt dizzy, nauseated, and strangely breathless. Within 48 hours, she was in the hospital, her kidney function down by nearly 80%. Doctors had to place her on temporary dialysis just to keep her alive. The cause wasn't infection, salt, or sugar. It was the rhubarb itself, or more precisely, the oxalic acid packed inside it. Here's the shocking truth. A single cup of diced rhubarb contains more than 1,000 milligrams of oxalates, about 20 times the safe daily limit for anyone with even mild kidney issues. When you cook or bake it into sauces and pies, that oxalate load doesn't disappear. It concentrates. Those microscopic crystals travel through your bloodstream, settle in your kidneys, and form razor-sharp shards that slice into the delicate tubules responsible for filtering waste. Under a microscope, they look like glass splinters, and that's exactly how they behave, scratching, clogging, and inflaming until the filtration system grinds to a halt. Medical journals have documented multiple cases of rhubarb-induced acute kidney failure, sometimes in people who had perfectly normal kidney function before dessert. But knowledge brings power. If you've ever enjoyed rhubarb in jams, yogurts, or pies, now is the time to rethink. There's no safe threshold once kidney damage begins. Even a few bites can spike your oxalate levels beyond what your body can handle. Swap that pie filling for safer, naturally sweet fruits like apples or blueberries, which provide fiber and antioxidants without the crystal risk. For Sarah, giving up rhubarb wasn't easy, but within months her kidney numbers improved and she avoided permanent dialysis. Sometimes the smallest sacrifice buys you the greatest freedom. But just cutting out rhubarb isn't the end of the story, because the next leafy super green that millions of people praise as clean and healing carries a double load of danger. It's bright, it's beautiful, and it's probably sitting in your fridge right now, quietly overwhelming your kidneys from 2 directions at once. If rhubarb is the sweet assassin, then Swiss chard is its quiet cousin, smiling on your plate while silently overloading your kidneys. It looks harmless, even wholesome. The bright rainbow stems the deep green leaves. It's praised on plant-based blogs, featured in detox plans, and labeled as a nutrient powerhouse. But for anyone with even mild kidney decline, this vegetable carries a double strike that your body may not recover from easily. Michael, a 62-year-old retired engineer, came to me puzzled. He had given up meat, cut out processed foods, and switched to an all-green diet because he wanted to eat clean. Every day his salad bowl overflowed with Swiss chard olive oil and lemon. But within 2 months his potassium levels spiked into the danger zone, and for the first time in his life he developed a kidney stone. How could that happen to a man doing everything right? The answer was sitting right there in his bowl. Here's what most people don't know. 1 cup of cooked Swiss chard contains almost 1,000 milligrams of potassium, roughly the same as a whole baked potato, and up to 200 milligrams of oxalates, the same crystal-forming compound that turns rhubarb into a renal nightmare. That's a 1-2 punch. Your kidneys can't block high potassium floods, your blood straining your heart's rhythm, while oxalates sneak into the kidneys and form microscopic glass-like shards that inflame and scar the delicate filters. Even boiling the leaves, which can reduce some oxalates, barely touches the potassium load. The result, a superfood that feels clean, but acts toxic when your kidneys are already struggling to filter waste. Michael's recovery started with a simple change balance. We replaced Swiss chard with safer greens like cabbage and lettuce, which provide antioxidants without the overload. He began leaching high potassium foods, drinking enough water to flush out residual oxalates, and spacing his portions more evenly throughout the day. Within weeks, his lab results normalized and his energy came roaring back. What shocked him most wasn't how fast he improved, it was how easy it was once he understood what his body truly needed. And that's the irony. Junk food comes with labels and warnings, but the foods most dangerous to kidney patients are often the ones marketed as super healthy. Swiss chard wears the mask of virtue, bright, organic, clean, yet beneath the surface, it's too much of a good thing. But just knowing the truth about Swiss chard isn't enough, because the next so-called super green is even more deceptive. It's the one hiding in nearly every detox smoothie, every juice cleanse, and even baby food. And while it's been sold as the ultimate symbol of health for your kidneys, it could be pure poison. Stay with me, because the next one might completely change how you look at your morning routine. If Swiss chard was the quiet overload, then spinach is the crowned king of kidney confusion, the superfood that can secretly sabotage your health while you're convinced it's saving it. For decades, spinach has been glorified as the ultimate green, the foundation of smoothies, detox juices, and diet bowls across America. But here's the uncomfortable truth. What's marketed as a detox can actually be the trigger for kidney damage, especially when it's consumed raw and in large amounts. Jennifer, a 34-year-old yoga instructor, was the picture of health. She didn't smoke, didn't drink, worked out daily, and proudly started every morning with what she called her Power Green smoothie. It was simple: 2 cups of raw spinach, a banana, and a splash of almond milk. It looked healthy, it tasted fresh, and it felt like energy in a glass. But after 6 weeks, that same glass put her in the hospital with acute kidney failure. Her creatinine skyrocketed, her body swelled, and she needed emergency treatment to save her kidneys. She didn't have diabetes, she didn't have high blood pressure, all she had was spinach. Here's the science behind the shock. Spinach is loaded with oxalates, about 1,000 milligrams per 100 grams. That's nearly 20 times the safe limit for anyone with even mild kidney stress. And when you blend or juice it, you're not eating 1 handful. You're drinking the equivalent of 3 or 4. Those oxalates bind to calcium in your blood, forming microscopic crystals that behave like glass shards inside your kidneys. They slice through filtration tissue-clogged tubules and cause a condition known as acute oxalate nephropathy, a dangerous rising cause of kidney injury in the green smoothie era. The scary part: you might not feel a thing until it's too late. If you love greens, the solution isn't to give them up completely, it's to choose smarter and cook smarter. Steam your spinach instead of eating it raw. This reduces some oxalates. Or better yet, rotate your greens, mix in safer options like kale, cabbage, or lettuce to lower the cumulative load. Hydrate consistently throughout the day to help flush out oxalates before they settle. And if you're blending smoothies, limit spinach to a small handful, not handfuls upon handfuls. Jennifer recovered after months of careful management, but her story stands as a warning for millions of people doing the same healthy ritual every morning. She told me later, "I thought I was feeding my body. I didn't realize I was slowly hurting my kidneys." That's the paradox of modern wellness. Sometimes the habits that look the cleanest on the outside are the ones clogging your system from within. But cutting out spinach isn't where the story ends, it's where hope begins. Because once you remove the hidden dangers, your kidneys have an incredible ability to recover and rebuild. And that's where we turn next to the 4 humble vegetables that can actually help heal your kidneys, lower creatinine, and bring back the energy and freedom you thought you'd lost forever. Stay with me, the healing part starts now. After all those hidden dangers, it's time for some good news, because once you remove the overload, your kidneys can start to recover. Healing doesn't come from fancy supplements or expensive detox programs. It often comes from something simple, humble, and sitting right in your grocery store aisle. And one of the best examples of that is the cauliflower, the quiet hero of kidney repair. Think of cauliflower as the opposite of everything that's been hurting your kidneys. It's low in potassium, low in phosphorus, low in sodium, and completely free of oxalates. 1 cup of cooked cauliflower has only 88 milligrams of potassium, 20 milligrams of phosphorus, and 9 milligrams of sodium, practically tailor-made for struggling kidneys. That's why nephrologists around the world recommend it as a go-to substitute for starchy high-potassium foods like potatoes. Robert, the same patient who once landed in trouble with tomato sauce, found hope again through this vegetable. We replaced his mashed potatoes with mashed cauliflower, a little olive oil, a pinch of garlic, and a touch of low-sodium cream cheese. When he tried it, he smiled and said, "It tastes like home." And that's what healing food should do, comfort you, not harm you. Within weeks, his potassium levels stabilized. His energy came back, and for the first time in years, his lab reports started to improve naturally. Here's the science behind why cauliflower works so well. It belongs to the cruciferous family vegetables that contain natural anti-inflammatory compounds like glucosinolates and sulforaphane. These compounds help neutralize oxidative stress, lower inflammation, and even support your body's natural detox enzymes, allowing your kidneys to rest and regenerate instead of constantly fighting against toxic buildup. In a 2021 clinical review, cruciferous vegetables like cauliflower were linked to improved vascular health and reduced kidney inflammation, especially in older adults. But what makes cauliflower truly special is its versatility. You can mash it, roast it, steam it, or turn it into rice for your favorite dishes. It adapts easily, just like your kidneys can quietly doing the work in the background when given the right conditions. It's proof that healing doesn't have to be complicated or expensive. It just has to be consistent. Still, knowing about cauliflower is just the beginning, because the next vegetable doesn't just cleanse your kidneys. It protects them like a shield, defending them from inflammation, oxidative stress, and even high blood pressure. And it's one of the most colorful, delicious ways to safeguard your health every single day. Stay with me, the next one will surprise you. If cauliflower is the gentle cleanser, then red bell peppers are the bold protectors, vibrant, colorful, and quietly working like armor for your kidneys. They're one of the rare vegetables that combine beauty, flavor, and healing in one simple package. Bright red on your plate, yet even brighter in how they protect you from within. I remember Patricia, one of my long-term patients who came to me constantly fatigued and frustrated. She'd already switched from processed foods to salads, but her lab results barely budged. Her potassium was still high, and her blood pressure refused to stabilize. When we reviewed her meals, she was overloading on healthy greens like spinach and avocados, great for the average person, but a disaster for someone with early-stage kidney disease. That's when we replaced her usual salads with fresh red bell peppers. It sounded too simple to work, but sometimes the simplest swaps save lives. Here's what makes red bell peppers so powerful. While they're bursting with nutrients, they're incredibly light on the minerals that burden weak kidneys. 1 cup of chopped red pepper contains only 250 milligrams of potassium, 30 milligrams of phosphorus, and a mere 4 milligrams of sodium. Yet inside that same cup, you'll find high levels of vitamin C, beta-carotene, and lycopene, all potent antioxidants that fight oxidative stress and inflammation, 2 of the biggest silent killers of kidney health. In fact, oxidative stress is like rust forming inside your body, slowly eating away at your blood vessels, your filters, your energy. Red bell peppers act like the natural anti-rust system, protecting those fragile kidney cells before they can corrode. Patricia took the change seriously. She swapped her afternoon salty crackers for crunchy red pepper slices with hummus, And within 3 months, her blood pressure normalized, her swelling went down, and her kidney markers finally stabilized. She told me I didn't think something that colorful could make me feel this light again. And she was right, because healing foods should feel good to eat, not restrictive. Science backs her story. Studies show that the antioxidants in red peppers don't just protect kidneys. They also improve blood circulation, lower inflammation, and strengthen your heart, creating a ripple effect of healing throughout your entire body. And when your heart and kidneys start working together again, your energy returns, your sleep improves, and your whole system feels younger. The best part, red bell peppers are incredibly versatile. You can eat them raw in salads, saute them lightly, roast them for a smoky flavor, or even stuff them with rice and herbs for a full meal that's both delicious and kidney safe. When food looks good, tastes good, and is good for you, that's when real healing happens. But just relying on antioxidants isn't enough, because the next vegetable doesn't just protect from the outside, it fights from within, targeting inflammation and blood pressure at the same time. It's ancient, potent, and known in almost every culture as food and medicine. You probably have it in your kitchen right now, and when you learn how to use it right, it can transform your kidney health from the inside out. If red bell peppers are the bright shield protecting your kidneys from the outside, then garlic is the ancient warrior fighting from within. It doesn't need to be fancy or expensive. Just a few small cloves can change the chemistry of your body in ways no pill can. For thousands of years, garlic has been used as both food and medicine, and modern science is finally catching up to what ancient healers already knew. Garlic doesn't just flavor your food, it heals it. I'll never forget Patricia, yes, the same woman whose kidneys were starting to recover after switching to red bell peppers. When she first came to me, her blood pressure hovered around 150/95, her inflammation markers were high, and every meal she ate relied on salt for flavor. So I asked her to try something simple, replace salt with crushed garlic. 2 cloves a day, crushed, rested for 10 minutes, then cooked gently into her meals. No supplements, no expensive blends, just real fresh garlic. Within 3 months, her blood pressure dropped to 135/80. Her energy improved, her swelling disappeared, and even her nephrologist said, "Whatever you're doing, keep doing it." What was happening inside her body was nothing short of remarkable. Garlic contains allicin, a powerful sulfur compound that activates once it's crushed and allowed to sit. Allicin works as a natural anti-inflammatory antioxidant and mild vasodilator, meaning it helps your blood vessels relax and your circulation improve. Better blood flow means less pressure on your kidneys and more oxygen reaching every cell. Scientific studies echo this transformation. In multiple clinical trials, garlic extract and fresh garlic were shown to reduce oxidative stress, lower cholesterol, and protect kidney tissue from toxin-induced damage. It's one of the few natural ingredients proven to benefit both your heart and kidneys simultaneously, a dual effect that medicine often struggles to achieve without side effects. But the real magic of garlic is how easy it is to use. Crush it, wait 10 minutes, and then cook it gently. That waiting period allows the allicin to fully form. It's like letting the medicine wake up before it enters your body. The smell may be strong, but the results speak louder. Garlic gives you flavor without sodium, healing without compromise, and power without price. Garlic also pairs beautifully with almost every kidney-friendly dish: mashed cauliflower, roasted bell peppers, sautéed cabbage. It ties your healing foods together like a secret thread of protection running through every meal. Because when flavor and health align, consistency becomes effortless, and consistency is what truly transforms your kidneys over time. But even with garlic on your side, the healing journey isn't complete yet, because the next vegetable doesn't just support your kidneys, it actually activates your body's built-in repair system. It flips a switch deep inside your cells that tells them to protect, detoxify, and renew from within. It's simple, affordable, and it might just be the most underrated kidney protective vegetable on earth. Stay with me, because this next one could redefine what you think healing really means. If garlic is the warrior that fights on the front lines, then cabbage is the quiet strategist, the one working behind the scenes, coordinating your body's own defense system. It doesn't make headlines or appear in fancy superfood lists, but it holds one of the most powerful secrets to long-term kidney protection. It helps your body heal itself. Sarah, one of my patients in her early 60s, had reached a point where she felt hopeless. Her creatinine kept climbing, her energy was gone, and every new supplement promised more than it delivered. When I told her to add cabbage to her meals 3 times a week, she looked at me almost disappointed. "Just cabbage?" she asked. I smiled and said, "Just wait." Within 3 months, her numbers started to move in the right direction. She had more stamina, her swelling reduced, and she told me she finally slept through the night for the first time in years. What changed? A simple shift in her body's chemistry. Here's how it works. Cabbage contains a unique compound called sulforaphane, a natural chemical that activates a master pathway inside your cells known as NRF2. Think of NRF2 as your body's internal repair command center. When it's turned on, your cells start producing their own antioxidants, repair enzymes, and detoxifiers. Instead of constantly fighting against damage, your body begins repairing it. That's why researchers call sulforaphane one of the most promising nutrients for chronic kidney protection. It doesn't just support your kidneys, it teaches them to defend themselves. Nutritionally, cabbage checks every kidney-safe box. 1 cup of shredded cabbage has only 172 milligrams of potassium, almost no phosphorus, and virtually 0 oxalates. It's light hydrating and full of fiber that helps remove waste through your digestive tract, taking pressure off your kidneys so they can rest. In a 2021 review published in Antioxidants, sulforaphane-rich vegetables like cabbage were shown to slow down the progression of chronic kidney disease and lower systemic inflammation in older adults. The best part is how easy it is to enjoy. You can shred it into salads, lightly steam it with garlic and olive oil, or sauté it with a splash of lemon juice for flavor. It's inexpensive, accessible, and yet profoundly healing. That's the beauty of cabbage. It doesn't just lower numbers on a lab sheet. It helps you feel lighter, clearer, and more alive. Sarah now jokes that cabbage is her green medicine, and she's not wrong. Sometimes the simplest foods carry the deepest wisdom. Healing doesn't always look glamorous. It often looks humble, like a bowl of warm cabbage on a quiet evening, doing its work quietly cell by cell. But just knowing the 4 vegetables that heal isn't the end of the story, because real recovery isn't only about what you eat, but how consistently you live the change. The final part of this journey ties everything together, how small daily choices can decide whether your kidneys decline or begin to rebuild for good. Stay with me, because what comes next could change the way you look at your health forever. Even if your lab results haven't looked the way you want, even if you've made mistakes in the past, I want you to remember this: your kidneys are quiet, but they are resilient. They've been protecting you since the day you were born, filtering, balancing, and healing, often without a single complaint. And all they're asking for now is a little help in return. You don't need perfection to see progress. You just need consistency: 1 smarter meal, 1 glass of clean water, 1 choice to rest instead of stress. Every small decision gives your kidneys a breath of relief, and over time, those tiny breaths become strength. Healing doesn't happen overnight, but it does happen. I've seen it again and again in my patients, and I believe it can happen for you too. So here's what I want you to do right now. Save this video so you can come back to it whenever you need a reminder or a restart. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because each week I share new science-backed tips to help you protect your kidneys, lower your creatinine naturally, and take control of your health with confidence. You never know, the next video could be the one that changes your life. And before you go, promise yourself this: don't lose hope. Your kidneys are still listening, still fighting for you. Give them the care they've been asking for, 1 small step at a time. Because when you start speaking to your body with kindness and knowledge, it listens and it heals. Take care of yourself, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next video.